Hello, my name is Kelly Gatewood, and this is my Module 1 about me and Action Research. A little bit about myself. I've been married to my husband Scott for 20 years. We have 3 girls, Kelsey who's 11, Emily who's 9, and Mallory who's 5. I enjoy gardening, canning, cross-stitching, crocheting. As my kids are getting older, they play a lot of sports, so I spend a lot of my time watching them, and I really enjoy that. I like to take a good nap, and I love watching game shows on television. I work at Cedarville Schools, which is a very rural school, about 45 miles, maybe a little longer than that, southeast of Wichita, almost on the Oklahoma line. We're a pretty small school, and we have about 130 kids in pre-K through 12, and we're all in one building. Elementary's on one end, high school's on the other, and we're separated by our gym and our cafeteria. Our average class size is about 10. That's a little on the high end. My one daughter has 5 in her class and the other has 7. This is my 10th year of teaching there. I've always been the math teacher from 8th through 12th grade. I am the only math teacher we have. I teach 8th grade, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Consumer Math, and Trigonometry, and this is the only school district I've ever worked in. I was a co-pilot on our redesign team when we went through redesign, going on about 5 years ago now, and I am the math team sponsor along with any other duties that come about. Okay, let's jump into this. What is Action Research? Action Research is a powerful tool for simultaneously improving the practice and the help of an organization. It's a type of inquiry that is practical, theoretical, and concerned with change and improvement. So in a nutshell, it's to figure out a better way of doing something that we might already be doing. The purpose of it is that it contributes to the theory and the knowledge base to enhance practice. It supports the professional development of the practitioners. It builds a collegial networking system. It helps the practitioners identify problems and seek solutions systematically. And it can be used at all levels and in all areas of education, which I feel like it can be used for other areas besides education. It doesn't just have to be in education. The 4 main types of action research were technical, mutual collaborative, enhancement, and participatory. Technical is that it tests a particular intervention based on a pre-specified theoretical framework. Mutual collaborative, which means you have at least 2 people that are working as a team to identify the underlying reasons and possible interventions to resolve a problem. Enhancement is a critical consciousness, which exhibits itself in a political as well as a practical action to promote change. And participatory, which is bringing positive social change and a driving force. It embraces participation, reflection, empowerment, and emancipation of the whole group. The goal of action research is to create a simple, practical, repeatable process of iterative learning, evaluation, and improvement that leads to increasingly better results for the school, teacher, and the program. The main steps of action research. Your first step is to identify your problem and what is a possible solution to it. You need to understand where you're at and where you want to go before you even get started. Once you know that, you get to go to step 2, which is develop a plan of action. What do you think you want to do? Then step 3 is collect the data. Collect the data you already have and collect any future data that you need. How are you going to collect it? What are you going to use? What do you need? Step 4 is to analyze the data and form conclusions. Was it what you thought you were going to find when you looked at your data? Was it not? Do we need to change anything? Do we need to go back to the drawing board? How does that work? Step 5 basically kind of goes a step forward, modify your theory and repeat the cycle. If you're not going to get the conclusion you think you want and you need to change stuff, then go ahead and start back over. There's not a right or wrong in this. You follow what you need to do and jump in at any point. And then number 6, you're going to report the results, share it with others, and to reflect on the process and the problem and allow others to use the results to help them. The differences between action research and traditional research. Action research is conducted by the educationist. It takes place in schools and in the classroom. There are less controlled procedures and many make changes during the study, and knowledge is applied directly to the classroom and gives the teacher service training. Traditional research is conducted by university professors and scholars. The variables are very controlled. They use rigorous research design with major attention given to reducing error and bias, and they obtain knowledge that is generalizable, develops and tests educational theories. So traditional is more an overview, where action is more in your classroom. What are you going to do? How can you do it? Common problems that are associated with action research. First one is identifying the issues and the problems to be investigated. Sometimes it's hard to pinpoint exactly what's wrong and even where to begin. It can be hard to develop the process of how to research and collect evidence. Analyzing the data can be hard. Organizing and writing findings. A lot of this will fall on the classroom teacher, and as all of us know, we're super busy anyways, and so this is just another thing that you feel like you have to do. Writing anxiety and inadequate knowledge regarding the conduct of action research. You don't really know how to do it until you jump in and do it. My current teaching practice in my classroom, I do a lot of I do, we do, you do model. I could use an action research to improve my teaching because sometimes I feel like I spend way too much time in the we do model and I don't give my kids enough time in the you do model. And so they've been dependent on me to where they feel like they can't do it without me helping them with every problem. And we all know you learn better when you do it yourself, not somebody doing it for you. So the student learning, I need to be a more authentic assessment that's providing more meaningful feedback and applicable to my students' lives. And it improves learning through classroom-based research. Teacher performance focuses on growth, not the deficiency. Where can we go? Not what we're doing wrong, but let's focus on improving what we have. It fosters a culture of inquiry, and it builds a structure of teacher collaboration. This is my critique of this. I thought action research was going to be something completely new to me. And when I really dug in and read the articles, I found out it really isn't. This is what we used during the redesign process of our school. Basically, we had to look at our data, figure out what did we want to improve, how are we going to improve it. As a school, we do it pretty well. We are still using this model now. We are in year 1 again of our KISA cycle. And so what's what we're trying to figure out, what are we going to focus on over the next 5 years? How are we going to do it? What data do we have? All of that kind of stuff. So I felt like as a school, we do this pretty well. Our principal's pretty good on this, and it's a pretty good model that we seem to be following. We look at our data and surveys a lot of what our kids say and what we do and possible solutions that we can do with them. And that seems to be very effective for our school. Supporting educational success. These were the ones that we had to talk about. So the first one, it uses data and design and implementation and evaluation, which is all part of action research. The goal of 4.1 is to achieve high quality technology-rich curricula programs, which can be achieved through action research. 4.2, the goal is to evaluate, develop, and implement high quality academic and non-academic systems that can be achieved through action research. Goal 4.3 is to evaluate, develop, and implement assessments that are data informed and can be achieved through action research. So we had the curriculum, we had the systems that we use, and the assessments. And so then I felt 4.4 was kind of just a summary of all of them, that it wants us to evaluate, decompose, and implement the school's curriculum, instruction, technology, data systems, and assessment practices in a systematic manner, which can be achieved collaboratively. My course learning outcome, I thought this assignment correlated to the standards because every one of them mentioned at least one part of the action research plan. It might not use all of them, but you are at least using a part of them. They are included in ways to evaluate and improve processes and methods that we are using every day in our classroom. Sometimes we use a lot of things that we don't even know that we're doing, and I feel like this is just making you be more self-aware of what you're already doing. I thought this was relevant to our learning because it is having us be more aware of the way that we make decisions. How can we always be improving what we are doing as educators, and how can we teach others to be using this forward-thinking design plan? My reflection on this was I realized that as a school, I feel like we do this really well with the action research model. We're constantly using it to determine how we can improve our school. We're fortunate that we have a very small staff. There's only about 30 of us between our support staff, our custodians, all of that, all of our teachers. And so we can communicate easily amongst all of us, and we can do stuff K-12 that other schools can't. As a future leader, I'll have to make sure that everyone knows and understands the process, because if you don't know how to implement it effectively. And this is my references, and have a good day. Thank you.